super loud, but I want to trim my nails and I want to give you a life update, so we're gonna do it. I know future me will regret this when I need to record the video, which has to be done by tomorrow, so I'm already like hating myself for this, but oh well. I have like a layer of peeling clear nail polish that I want to wipe off real quick. Just want to wipe off real quick. Before we really get into the life update portion of this video, I want to share with you something spooky. So I asked my husband to help me set up for this video. I was having issues getting the mic stand to like set up properly. So he was helping me set things up. And you know, we just finished putting the mic on and we're kinda like both quiet as we're analyzing the setup. When we both very distinctively hear like it was almost like knocking, like, and like we both look at each other and I'm like, what was that? And he's like, I don't know, and he goes to like check, and I get goosebumps. I don't know why I got freaked out, but I did. In the beginning I couldn't tell if it was like, it almost sounded like water drops lips, like, but more like knocking, I guess. I don't know. But it was like really loud. I have this cute little jar of cotton balls in the bathroom here upstairs. And the only times I ever use it, or anyone ever uses it, is when I record a video up here. Anyway, we were both like kind of freaked out, and he was like walking around like trying to figure out where the sound came from, but like our dog was in the room with us, and I don't really see anything here that we could have bumped that would have made the sound, but it almost sounded like it was right here in the room with us, and then like I'm freaked out thinking about it, so I think I gotta stop talking about that. Anyway, this video will likely be recorded in two parts. My phone battery, rewind, my phone is not charged, and I think I'm gonna hit 20% pretty soon, but I wanted to just start recording this video already because I've been procrastinating for like weeks, and I need to record and edit this video by tomorrow to keep with my schedule, which likely won't happen, so I'm sorry if the video is a couple days late. And I also wanted to start this before I started like grocery shopping and cooking dinner for the evening. My hair is still a little wet, so I'm a little lazy to go to the store with it like this. So I think I'll wait for it to dry a little bit, and when I get another low battery notification, I'll stop recording and I'll record the rest later tonight. Let me actually clip my hair out of the way. Clip. Okay. Sorry, I look a little like, wow. Not great. Anyway, let's put the cuticle oil on and let's actually start giving you a life update. Looking at the first thing on my list, it feels like this was forever and a day ago, so I must not have recorded a life update in a while. So first on my list, I have that I went flower picking. So this must have been in October. There is a farm maybe 20 minutes from my house where they have like a pumpkin patch and flower picking and a corn maze and like literally all the typical fall activities you could think of. like $5, maybe $10. I don't know. You paid maybe $5 or $10, and they gave you a nice glass mason jar. You would fill it up halfway with water, and then they gave you those little scissors, which I'm sure have a special name because they are special gardening scissors, I guess. So it would give you that, so you could go and like cut flowers and make your own little bouquet, little arrangement. So it was really cute. One of the girls got a pumpkin. I didn't pick a pumpkin, but you know, we all made the flowers, and it was like just kind of fun hanging out. I don't really have a lot of friends in general, let alone like girlfriends. So it just felt really nice to be able to like hang out with them. These girls are like super drama free, so I was really excited that they invited me, and I hope we keep hanging out. So after we picked the flowers, we took the wagon back to like the main area, and there I bought like hot apple cider, which I am a huge fan of, as well as like apple donuts. I don't think that's what they're called. I'm like blanking on the name, but they're donuts and they're like apple-y. Donuts, whatever. So freaking good. I bought a bag of a dozen donuts, and I think I just had like one or two there, and then I brought the rest home and got to enjoy them over the next couple of days. Big fan. That was super fun. Alright, I'm gonna wash this off, okay? I think I'll continue in the order of, just chronological order. I was at first gonna tell you about like another fall activity I did in October, but I have that later on in my list. So, just check off the flower picking. Then my husband and I celebrated our second wedding anniversary in October. We went to a Peruvian restaurant. It was, I don't know if you heard my dog in the background. He's complaining that we aren't letting him outside when he heard a car pass by. Anyway, so okay, let me figure out a way to do this so it doesn't sound too loud. I'm gonna try to file the nails far away from the mic. So we went to a Peruvian restaurant to celebrate. Back home there is a Peruvian restaurant that's like, it's a sit-down restaurant, but it's pretty casual, like not fancy or anything. And I was kind of picturing this, I don't know why I was kind of picturing the same type of vibe when I booked at this place, but like luckily we dressed up, you know, because I wanted to kind of dress up anyway because it was our anniversary. When we get there, I noticed it's actually kind of fancy. The price definitely reflected that too, but it was so worth it. Like, we don't go out to eat at fancy restaurants really ever, so it just felt whiskey sour type of girl. So I'm like taking my time with this drink, and I'm just like a little tired, but still it was like fun, just like chatting with my husband. And you know, if we lived closer, I feel like it would be a really fun place to like go on a Friday evening with some friends, but we'll see. Next time we go to that Peruvian restaurant, we'll probably go to that bar again. Then at work, some girls started like a book club, but like I feel like not really. So the reason I say not really is because so I started this book club, and so that they would like, you know, they picked a book. The book was actually called Boy Swallows Universe. Boy Swallows Universe. And originally the girl organizing this said like, okay, we'll meet up in like 2 weeks. Everyone should have finished the book already. And we're like, oh, okay. They ended up like postponing the hangout, and I go, you know, to like the book club meeting or whatever. And it was just like me and maybe one other girl who finished the book, the girl who was organizing it. But everyone else, like, no one else had finished it. So we talked for like 2 seconds about the book, and you know, without trying to like spoil it for everyone else, and then just kind of like talked about work, because everyone works together, or at the same company, I guess. We don't all work in the same department. But it was still really fun. There was one girl who volunteered to like have us meet up at her house, and she actually cooked dinner for everyone. She is Vietnamese, and she made I don't remember what it was called, but it was super yummy food. And you know, she had wine. Some people brought over like just like a baked good to have for dessert and stuff. And it was a work day. I think it was like a Thursday night. So I didn't think, you know, we would all stay out late, especially because a lot of them actually have to go into work at like 6 a.m. But we ended up staying like kind of late. I think it was like 9:30 or something. And that was really fun. Then they had one other meeting to decide like the next book, and I think that one was in October, and they wanted kind of like something spooky. A lot of people in the group, including myself, don't actually like actually scary stuff, like horror stuff. So I actually recommended like, what if we do like a murder mystery. I absolutely love murder mysteries. Those are like my go-tos. One girl recommended that we read Gone Girl. Gone Girl, Gone Girl, Gone Girl. I had never read the book Gone Girl, but I have seen the movie. I actually really like the movie a lot. I can't remember if I said this already, but a quick side note, I don't actually read a lot currently. I used to read like in high school, like actual books all the time. Now I just listen to audiobooks. I listen to a lot of audiobooks actually, like all the time. I have about a 15-20 minute drive to work, and I'll listen to audiobooks every single morning, and sometimes I might drive back home if I'm not like talking to someone in my family. And then even just like around the house, I'll put on headphones. I'll go ahead and I'll just put on, and then I just walk around doing chores or cooking with the headphones on, listening to my audiobook. So anyway, I listened to the audiobook of Gone Girl, and it was really good, but I felt like having seen the movie ahead of time, I already kind of knew like what was gonna happen. You know, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, surprised by the plot twist. They had got together, the group had gotten together to I guess to talk about Gone Girl when I was on vacation out of town. So I don't know how that meeting went, but we have like a group chat, and no one has said what the next book is, so everyone and their mother seems to be like posting about this book on social media. Then the other book that I listened to, and I think, so like, the first book I listened to, Boy Swallows Universe, that was probably my least favorite out of the ones that I had read, or listened to recently. It just wasn't my type of book. I really, really liked Gone Girl, but I felt like having watched the movie kind of took away, like, from the whole experience. And the last book I listened to was probably my favorite. It is called The Butcher and the Wren. The Butcher and the Wren. The author's first name I know is Elena, but I don't know her last name. I actually first heard of the book because I used to listen to the podcast called Morbid a lot. It's like a true crime kind of podcast. I've taken a break from it recently. It just was like a little too heavy, listening to that stuff all the time. But one of the co-hosts of that podcast is Elena, and so she had mentioned that she wrote a book. The author is like an autopsy tech, I think, and the book is like a murder mystery, which is exactly my cup of tea. Like, I loved it, and there was like a bit of a plot twist, and like the ending was written, like, it left the door open for the next book. Like, this could definitely be a series, and so she really just releases books, so I don't expect a sequel anytime soon, but yeah, I really liked it. Alright, next. So I am part of the women's team at work, and I organized like a social event for the team. It was a pumpkin carving women's event. Just, I don't know why I said women's event, pumpkin carving, like hangout. So I was super excited when I at first sent out this meeting invite. Like, a lot of people accepted. I think we had like 15 people or like 16 people accept, and then 8 people as tentative. Like, I was over the moon, like, so excited. The lady who offered to host us at her house, like, said she would make chili, and she ended up like renting out. Our neighborhood has like a little clubhouse, and so she rented it out because there were so many people who said that they would come. But then the day of, there were maybe like 8 of us, so I felt like kind of disappointed that not as many people came. The women's team is like a really cool group, but it's just like the same 8 women who go to everything, and the place that we work at is huge, and there's so many women, and I would love to get just like more engagement and be able to reach out to more people. The team also hosts like a lot of professional development workshops or like community service events, and like it's just a really cool way to build like a strong group, or like that's how I envisioned it being. So I was just really bummed that not a lot of people came. But I'm still glad that some people came, and it was a lot of fun. Lots of fall activities happened this October, and I was excited. The other thing I wanted to share about is that the APA group at work hosted shoot out like mini fireworks. So we were out in the yard like with our sparklers and the little like mini fireworks. And then that night we actually painted like these. I think that they're candle holders. I'll show you mine real quick. So it's like a little ceramic bowl, I guess. And it took a long time to paint, but it was really fun. Normally I feel like when we have hangouts like this, we're done by like 8 o'clock. But I think everyone ended up staying over until like 11. It was a lot of fun. Okay. The next thing I have on my list is that I got strep throat. Super bummer. I felt like I hadn't gotten strep throat since I was like a child, and I was shocked. I don't know why. I thought that it was like impossible for adults to get strep throat, but it was really rough. I feel like it hit me really suddenly. I was driving home from work one day, and like as I'm getting closer to my house, I'm like, wow, my throat is like really bothering me. I'm like, God, that's weird. It's like really bothering me. And I go to bed, and like that night I cannot sleep, and in the morning I feel like I have a really low like fever, like super low. Like that morning my alarm clock goes off for me to go to work, and or I think it's a little bit before my alarm clock, and the whole time I'm just thinking like, oh, like, am I actually sick, or am I just like a little sick, like about to get a cold, but I can still go to work? Like I couldn't really tell if I was sick or not. I am a bit of a hypochondriac. Like if someone tells me that they're sick, I automatically think I'm sick too. And you know, this time of the year everyone is getting sick, so I spent a lot of time debating like if it was in my head or if I was actually sick, and I decided not to go to work. And even then, like I texted my boss and like people on my team just saying that I wasn't feeling well and I wouldn't be going in that day. But the whole day, that whole morning, I'm staying in bed and I'm feeling guilty, like wondering, am I just doing this because I don't want to go to work? But the whole day I just feel like iffy, like my throat is bothering me, and my parents are telling me like, hey, you should probably go get tested for strep. And I'm thinking like, no, like I'm totally fine, not a big deal. But then in the afternoon I end up going to urgent care, and even going there I felt silly, like, hey, my throat hurts like a little bit, I just want to make sure it's not like strep. But I felt silly, like I thought they were gonna tell me like, lady, you're fine, you don't even have a fever. And because when I went there I didn't have a fever. I think I was like 98 or like 99. So they do the test, like they swab my throat, and I like forgot how terrible it is. She had to like try to do it twice because I like was not having it. And then the doctor comes in and he's like, yep, so you definitely have strep. And I'm like, oh jeez. Good thing I didn't go to work because it's like super contagious. So I, pick up my antibiotics and I start taking them, but I'm like really sick. And I thought like the next couple of days, I thought like, okay, once you start taking the antibiotics, you'll recover really quickly. But I felt like I was getting worse before I was even close to getting better. Like day 2 or 3 of antibiotics, like I was done. Like I felt terrible. I was like wrapped up, laying on the couch, wrapped up in a blanket, like tissues all over the place. Like it was gross. My husband was super nice and like trying to take care of me, and of course like he ends up getting sick, and I felt terrible because he ends up getting sick on a day that he has to take like a midterm. So he's like on the computer, because it's like virtual, he's like on the computer like taking this midterm, and he's like crazy sick, and like ends up getting medication for strep too. The timing was also kind of crappy. I mean, in addition to it being like midterms for my husband, but we had a trip planned out to go back home to celebrate my little sister's 21st birthday. Luckily, we got strep maybe like a place has like the place that we went to is kind of known for their cocktails, so that was cool. I feel like that's kind of all I have to say about that. Then the second night, we went to a Latin night, and my husband invited a lot of his friends, so they like kind of did their own thing and hung out. There was like a table and they got like food and drinks. But my sister, her friend, and I just kind of spent the entire night like on the dance floor. My little sister absolutely loves dancing, so like that's what we went there to do. Yeah, so we danced like forever. There was one point where my sister, like, I was a little nervous because this guy invited her to dance and just kept like spinning her, and by the end she's like, yo, I'm not feeling well. But she drank a lot of water. We ordered like a pizza, and then like, you know, we were there for a bit, and then she like sobered up and she's like, alright, let's go back out to the dance floor. So we just spent like a lot of time just dancing. Yeah, super fun. Then the following night, my brother-in-law, so my husband's brother, invited us to go to a super fancy restaurant, like really fancy restaurant. He works in the industry, so he knows just a lot of people, and one of his friends was like the manager, I think, of this restaurant. So they really hooked us up. But I tried like a bunch of stuff that I would have never tried. They like helped us pair like drinks with what? Oh, with the food. So just like everything was really good. And then after that dinner, we went to a club. I like forgot how it's like to go to a club because I feel like I hadn't been to one in forever, and it's just like a lot, you know, getting in line and like, well, I think we ended up, my brother-in-law knew someone, so we were able to like cut the line, but like even getting in, like looking at all the prices of like the drinks, I was shocked with how much like prices have gone up even since like the last time I had been in town. Like, I feel like I remember drinks being like $10-15, and these drinks were like $20 for just like a cranberry vodka, you know? Anyway, so we get there and we like get drinks and we go out to like the dance floor, but like you really can't dance. Everyone is packed in, like really, really packed in, and you can't dance, like you're just there packed in, maybe jumping in place or whatever. And we're not there for very long, like I don't even want to say an hour, maybe an hour max. And my little sister's like, hey, like I want to go, my knee hurts, like let's just go. So we did not stay late at all, and I'm glad that we did not pay a cover to get in. I just did a clear coat. But that was kind of it for the birthday celebrations. We were in town for about 10 days, and it was really fun, but I got a little sentimental leaving. Most of my family, except for like one sister, most of my immediate family lives there, and I just felt like sad. I got to see my nieces and nephews, but like I was shocked to see how much everyone has like grown up. Like they don't even look the same as when I mean obviously they don't look the same like time passes, but like I wouldn't even have like recognized them. That's exaggerating a little bit, but like my nephew especially just went through like a growth spurt and like looks like a little teenager now, and I remember him just being like a kid. So I got a little sentimental leaving because, you know, I'm never sure when I'm gonna go back, and I just really missed my family. But overall, it was a really good trip. When I got back from that trip, actually, I was like super motivated to record a bunch of shorts. I actually recorded enough shorts to last until January, and like I recorded them back in like November. And I mean, I guess that's not that much because I upload shorts every other week, but like still, then I recorded one like long video with my brother when I was in town, and I think I posted that like me to just get back in the groove. If you guys have any suggestions on videos you would like to see that are like longer than 5 or 10 minutes, let me know. I am all ears. I have finished doing my nails and I just have like 2 more things to talk about. I am going to put on some makeup on you using these colored pencils, okay? Let's start with some blush, 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 blush. Okay, so then for Thanksgiving we went to spend it with my husband's family. Really good food, although I will say we did not have any mashed potatoes, and I am the biggest fan of potatoes, so I was so bummed out. We had a turkey, ham, we had a really good salad, and corn, and sweet potatoes. The sweet potato dish, let me just rub in that blush a bit. The sweet potato dish was absolutely delicious, and they didn't want to make mashed potatoes because someone had said it'd be too many potato dishes, but like mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes are completely different in my book. But all jokes aside, the food was bomb. Actually, now I'm getting hungry thinking about that mashed potato dish. Let me color in your eyebrows a little bit. Then we went to Costco. That is really the only Black Friday shopping I did. Bought a bunch of food and I bought a straightener, which I'm super excited. Oh, I am so silly. I forgot I had bought that straightener. And yesterday we went out to like a dinner, like a holiday dinner with the Hispanic team from work, and I used the straightener just to like straighten the bangs a little bit, but I used my old straightener because I forgot I had gotten that new one, and my old straightener's like toast. It was time. And then of course we just watched the World Cup. But yeah, it was just like a nice fun weekend. We stayed, I think we arrived there like Wednesday night because I had Thursday was a holiday at my job, and then I used a vacation day on Friday. So we stayed Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday we just came back in the evening, and it was just kind of nice having one day, so Sunday, to just kind of catch up on like house stuff before going back to work on Monday. Okay, let me put a little bit of eyeshadow on you. So the last thing I wanted to tell you was about this volunteer event I hosted, or I coordinated, I guess. So I put this together for the women's team at work. It was just to volunteer like at a food bank, and I was asked if I could actually invite like the whole site, like everyone at work, to participate instead of just the women's team. So I sent out a meeting invite to the whole site, and let me just blend it in. There were 22 people who accepted and 9 tentatives. So I was like panicked but also excited. I was excited because that's just awesome to have that many people interested in volunteering. But I was a little nervous because when I was coordinating it, I told the food bank coordinator that I only expected around 10 volunteers. Okay, let me go in and now put some lipstick on you. So a couple days before our volunteer event, I got in touch with the coordinator again and just confirmed like, hey, we're expecting more like 20 people, is that still okay? And he said like, yeah, no problem. Well, come the day of the event, I arrive is really all that I had wanted to share with you guys today. This video ended up being a lot longer than I was hoping to. I thought I would keep it like nice and short and sweet to make editing easier, but oh well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you have